into our channel.
Hi guys, welcome back to Lockdown Therapy. It's yet another episode, our third episode for 2022, and we're so happy to be here again to do this video, you guys. And if you remember, if you haven't watched last week's video, now is the time to
go watch,
to go
like, share, and subscribe,
and hit the notification bell. Yeah, if you haven't watched our video, kindly go watch it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, now is the time. Just take those fingers down the screen to that part that says subscribe, and subscribe to our channel and share it with a friend, because we talk about pretty helpful stuff. And last week I shared about the fact that I had already started working on my resolutions, and I did, guys. I'm still working on them, and I failed in one. I worked out for 3 days, and then I don't know what.
Or after the video.
On the video that was, I think that day that I took the video, that was day 3.
Okay.
And then since that day,
you decided, guys,
something happened that I do not know, but I'll go back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
But Candy, have you started working on the resolutions that you shared with us here?
I have. I'm working on being more self-aware, and I told you I'm doing a lot of journaling. So I've started journaling. Especially, I said I wanted to track my habits. So yeah, I'm journaling each and every day, in the morning and in the evening. Not in line with devotions and stuff, but just trying to figure out where I am, my progress during the week. Like, have I done anything productive? Is there a skill that I'm learning or something? Yeah, so I've worked on that. That one, habit tracking, I'm doing it.
Give her a tip. Yeah, that's nice. I hope wherever you are, you have started working on those goals that you wrote down. And it's the important part is getting the work done, not actually just writing them down. Yeah, and that brings us to today's topic.
Wait. Before we start the video, I want us to give a shout out to one person.
Oh my God.
That I feel, I love her. Julie also loves her. And she's been so consistent on commenting on our videos, and we see her and we know her. It's just that we've not seen her in person for a while, but we just want to appreciate her.
You haven't seen her in person for a while?
I haven't seen her. Like, I didn't see her last Sunday.
Last Sunday is Juicy, but she wasn't the other Sunday.
Oh, then I didn't see her.
You didn't open your eyes because she was in the same room.
But okay, fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We will deal with that one outside there. But we just want to appreciate her and tell her that we love you very, very much.
And thank you for always being here, supporting us, like commenting. She's always commenting. She's the first person to comment. And who is she?
Kimberly Karua.
Yes,
right?
Kimberly. Thank you very much.
Kimberly, thanks.
We see you, man, like all the time subscribing. And every other person who watches our videos always. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
And we'll be doing this more often. Like, if we see guys commenting and liking, we'll just give out shout outs to them, because we really, really appreciate the support you're giving us. Yeah. So Kimberly, thank you so much, because yours we've seen, and I'm always looking forward to did Kim comment.
She always leaves a comment on all our videos, and it's encouraging when one new person subscribes and we have one person saying amazing video like that. It's not, we don't take it for granted. So thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Now we jump into our topic today.
Today we talk about, drum rolls, vulnerability. And vulnerability is something that I have been seeing a lot on social media and on people's posts, and it brought to my attention. Like, we talked about it with Candy. Like, we saw something that was trending this week about the DJ who committed suicide in the workplace, and it brought also that aspect of vulnerability, and it has been one of the contributing factors to coming up with the topic for this week, vulnerability. And before we even get to define what vulnerability is, I would like us to give like instances where vulnerability is applied, maybe examples.
And my one example was when you're not sure about the other person's intention, or you are not sure about what to expect. So like, for example, when you're going to make a new friend and you don't know if they will like you at like anything at first glance, like when they see you like this, do they like you? There are people who like just look nice and you think they're friendly, and then you go say hi and you're like, what? No, they're not friendly. So that is vulnerability when you're going to make new friends, or when you're the first one to express your emotions, like say I love you, like say I appreciate you. Like that's being vulnerable, because you don't know what to expect from the other person.
Also, there's those random appreciation texts to your friends and to the person you're in a relationship with, or to your siblings or to your parents, being like, thank you for being a part of my life, thank you for thank you for the gift, thank you. That's vulnerability. And Candy smiling.
Let me smile because I remember we were with you and Anita here, and Anita, I was complaining because I am big on appreciating people and posting people. So Anita, you remember Anita said
that
she will wow, Anita. She said she'll not post me until I go for a photo shoot. And me, I am busy posting this girl.
No, it's
with
quality.
with her hair and her natural face.
She doesn't, but she said she didn't like that you posted her on Instagram stories, not even WhatsApp.
Yeah, but that's being vulnerable. You see the what I received from her, she was like, can you not posting pictures in Miss Spain? And I'm like, me, I'm appreciating you. So it's still an issue. But so I'm going for a photo shoot.
So that we can be able to post her comfortably. Quality on our timelines.
Yeah.
Quality.
Okay. Yeah. So that is being vulnerable. That's an instance of being vulnerable.
Yeah, even posting your friends. Like posting your boyfriend. Being vulnerable.
Yeah, boyfriend, Julie boyfriend.
Candy!
Yeah.
It's alright. I'll know some place where I'll find Candy during this video.
I'm trying to figure out when was the last time you did that.
Don't you see me in November? No, but it's fine. I'm still sleeping in the inbox.
Yeah, okay, I would say that one. I'll tell you later.
You'll tell me after the video.
Say character development.
Character development with a K. I can't wait to finish this video so that I can hear that story, guys.
I can tell you. Okay, back to our video.
So you are just giving, like, those are instances where people display vulnerability, and by that, I'd just like Kadi to define it for us. Like, how would you define vulnerability?
Vulnerability is simply emotional exposure. We can use words like disclosing information, or the word I used? Revealing something. Yeah, so it's actually exposure, like you're allowing someone to see you. So there's the aspect of willingness. It has to be from you, like you're just willing to share that information and for someone to see you. And you also talked about it being
a risk. I talked about vulnerability being a risk because once I'm vulnerable, like the dictionary also defines vulnerability as being open to attack. Like if a city is vulnerable, that means it can be attacked from anywhere. And that's also true when it comes to our emotional vulnerability, because I have just opened my heart up to you. I have given you all this information about me. Then you can use that information however you please. You can choose to attack me with information. Go posting on social media, Julie.
Yeah, or even posting memes in relation to what I've told you.
Like someone can choose to do whatever they want to do with that information, or they can support me. So vulnerability is a risk, and it's a risk that we must all take if we are to have healthy relationships, healthy friendships with everyone around us, because vulnerability is a requirement in any form of relationship, be it with our parents, be it with our siblings, be it with our friends, and be it with our life partners. Like vulnerability is a requirement. And yeah, I think that's how I define vulnerability.
And why vulnerability is important, number one, it's because it helps us become know ourselves in in a more open, how do I put it, in a more like helps in your awareness when you share something with someone, because you feel appreciated and you feel known. Like when I share information with Julie, if I was to tell Julie, by this and this happened, and then I go outside there and someone tells me, by they can do you like this, I won't feel like it's something new to me. I will feel like, but this is something I've disclosed to someone else and it's something I'm working on. So it doesn't feel like it's a new thing.
Yeah.
So you get to become your greater self. That's the word I was looking for. Like your greater self, because you know who you are and you know someone else knows you. Yeah.
And also vulnerability is important because it fosters intimacy in our friendships. Just as you said, Candy is someone who is vulnerable. Like she's open to vulnerability. You'll meet with Candy randomly and she'll be like, I've been really thinking this week. I've realized that I'm struggling with this. I've realized that my feelings towards like certain things are about, like she will openly tell you like stuff like that. Like it's something that's really, really admirable about her. Like she's aware of her feelings and she's open to talk about them. And because of that, because Candy from the word go, like started just opening up to me, I'm able to also open up to Candy and be like, hey, this is happening. Like there was this random day I just texted her, I'm feeling really anxious, like I don't know what's going on, but I'm really anxious. And for me to be able to text Candy that, it's because Candy has also like fostered the vulnerability by her being vulnerable with me. So, and because of that, because I know Candy struggles sometimes and she knows mine sometimes, I think there is a form of intimacy in our friendship. Right?
It's there.
Am I getting ahead of myself?
No, the right track.
Yeah, because I have been vulnerable with Candy and she's been vulnerable with me, it has fostered some kind of intimacy. Like our friendship has grown. And I was even talking to someone, she was telling me that from like watching our first video and watching our video recently, she can tell that our friendship has grown. And I was like, even in our first video, we weren't really friends. We just met up to do the video. And I think it's because of vulnerability. Even with your relationships with people, you need to like invite them to be vulnerable by you being vulnerable. Like if you're in a relationship and you've realized, as we are talking in this video, by the way, I have no idea what my friend goes through. I do not even know some certain things about myself. How about you foster it by being vulnerable? Randomly, just when you're having a conversation, be like, but then this week I was thinking about this and this. Yeah. And you'll find that by you saying that, you're inviting your friend to share her thoughts as well. So vulnerability does foster relationship, intimacy in the relationships that we have.
And then vulnerability is, the best way to put it ni kusema unajituma, but let me just say vulnerability is from you. It's not you expecting it from another person. That is something I've learned. Like I want to be a better version of me and I want to have good friends. So let me be that good friend. I want to create an environment where people can openly have conversations. Let it start with me. Like don't expect the other person to come and ask you what the problem is. It's up to you. It's up to you to start that conversation. It's up to you to say, baby, I have seen this, I don't like this. It's up to you. It's more on helping you grow. Yeah, create that community. It's your responsibility.
Don't wait for someone to open up to you first so that you can open up to them first. Be that person who opens up and invites the other person to open up. Not even by, because when you start being vulnerable with someone, they'll feel safe around you. Yeah, there's that aspect of feeling safe, like so that you can be able to be vulnerable. You can't be vulnerable with someone you don't feel safe to.
Yeah.
And it reminds me to a point that Candy was saying, but we'll get to that later, right?
Okay. I don't know the point.
It was that point that made us pause the video first. Remember that one for sharing your accomplishments and stuff. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that
later. And so at that point, and just like us to give like instances again, what does vulnerability look like? We know vulnerability from the point of I'm opening up about my fears, my insecurity, my shame, my pain, and that's also vulnerability. But there's so much more to vulnerability than that. So what other instances of vulnerability do you know of?
That is one where you share your doubts and shame and whatever. There's that aspect, but that's not the only way where we can be vulnerable. There are things like going for an event and going alone, or going to meet someone new. I think that is you putting yourself out there. You're putting you are emotionally at risk when you go meet someone new, because you don't know if they are going to accept you, love you for who you are, or I don't know, but that's a risk. And then 2, we've also talked about, which Julie is going to say, about accomplishments. And then there's 3 that I'm realizing that I think helped me a lot, and that is even sharing your opinion.
By the way,
that one is deep, because that is how we like connect. When I come and say, but unajua vile Pascal preach, and then I'm like, but do you know this? That is me allowing you to know me and know my train of thought. So and that's also
just as you've said of your opinion. I have been in a group of friends where I couldn't openly share my opinion. Like I feel already I'm afraid to even share my opinion because I'm afraid of what you guys will think. I'm like, will you like accept my opinion for what it is, or will you like, we don't even have to agree, but I should feel safe in my circle of friends to openly share the opinions that I have, leave alone my fears, leave alone my insecurities, but my opinions, what I believe in, what I stand for. And we don't even have to agree, but at least I should be able to share my opinion, and you should also be able to share your opinion without it putting the friendship at risk.
So that vulnerability, that one of sharing opinion, that is you, like direct you're being vulnerable, because you're allowing someone to know what you think, how you think. So that's you, and that's why it makes us anxious. And that is why also other people connect on that aspect of, nili realize Julie anawachingi Steven Fatik, nili realize, let me use our friend Kimberly anawachingi another program. So I'm like, that is me putting myself out there, because utendo research, you go like, why does Candy love this? That is me being
also in a group, like in a new people set, like you're in a setting where all these people you've never met before, and through people sharing their opinions, you're able to know this one we can relate, this one we can't. So that's also vulnerability, being able to, like, from sharing your opinions, I can be able to know that this person is a person I can connect with, and this person, based on what they believe in and based on what I believe in, is nothing that can come out of it. So I think vulnerability goes in major ways. And when it comes to accomplishments, you should see our faces now. You should be in a circle of friends. One, you should be in a family, because sometimes people aren't even able to share their accomplishments with their family members. Like, you should be in a circle of friends, in a community, or in relationships with people who you can openly share your accomplishments with, and then they'll celebrate you for that. And not people who you have to downplay your accomplishments so that you can accommodate them. Like, because like you should be in a friendship where Candy and I are done with school, and we are both looking for jobs, and Candy gets a job first. Candy should be able to come to me, be like, I got my job, I haven't gotten mine yet, and I should be in a position to celebrate Candy, despite the fact that I haven't, like, that is also important. And it's also vulnerability to share your accomplishments. I think that's a point I really struggled with in like most of my friendships. For some reason, I felt that, not because that even I won't put it on my friends. It wasn't really about my friends. It was mostly about me and my insecurities. Like, I felt the need to downplay like the things that I where like I'm working on this, I think it's nice. I feel the need to downplay it and probably keep it to myself so that I can accommodate those around me. Not even mostly because of like they won't appreciate me. That was a me issue. So
like, I think you are feeling like you're being exposed. Like some people feel like they're oversharing, or I'm putting myself out there too much.
Some people is also me. Like, sometimes I feel like when I'm vulnerable, I really overthink it for like a week. Maybe like, why am I overshared? Am I she's not thinking about me, like I'm damaged. Like
I can't believe it. It's so true.
But it's true. Like, these are the things that go through our minds once we are vulnerable. Like, it's not easy. It takes a lot of courage. Like, that has to be said. It takes a lot of courage for you to be vulnerable with yourself and with others. For you to actually admit that, I'm struggling with accepting this about myself, and then inviting someone in. It takes a lot of courage, because that's like I'm giving you. It's like if we were in a war, I'm just taking my guns and giving them to you freely, and then standing on this other side of the line, like, now let's fight. Yet you have all the guns, you have all the weapons, and I'm defenseless. that's actually what vulnerability is. You're left feeling defenseless, mostly if the person you're being vulnerable to wasn't a safe space. And I think that damages people completely. Like, you'll see most people who cannot by any chance be vulnerable have been hurt by someone. Like, they opened up to someone and that person hurt them, and now they completely shut their doors, their windows, the curtains were closed, everything.
And just because we are talking about now why people are not vulnerable, there's the also aspect of you thinking like you have to be certain about everything until if something was to go wrong, you hide it. Get like how do I put it? Let me pick this example. Like, you remember the other time when you were going for an interview and then you called and said, baby, I got an opportunity. There are people who feel I don't want to share this information because I am not certain if I'll get the job or not. So you see, that one makes you feel like, will they laugh at me? Will they not laugh at me?
Like, that was a thought for me before I texted. I got that interview, like, I was told on Wednesday this week. I was told on like Friday, come on Wednesday next week. So between Friday and Wednesday, and Tuesday, I had not told anyone. So I was like, what if I tell them? And then now they get all excited, and then I go for the interview and not get the job. So there's that thought as well, and it's always there. But overcome, you can overcome all those fears.
So what makes us now not be vulnerable is that aspect where we want to be certain about everything and we cannot be certain. Like, I remember the other day I was telling someone they were having issues, and then let me just how you say mimi sitaki mungelesha, mimi sitaki ukisim uniambi, like you're like, I'm like, why you not saying
you see that instance where you take your friend to the boyfriend's place so that they can take all their stuff, and then you're left at the end of the day, you're left outside the door alone.
Yeah, or you tell your friend, mimi nimekasikia dem, I'm not talking to her again, and then akikuja you're like, hi, so I thought we were upset. We are not upset. So there's that aspect of you wanting to be certain about everything just makes it hard for you to be vulnerable. So also, like, be easy on yourself enough to know like things can go the right way and at times they are not gonna go the right way.
Yeah, and another thing, as we are talking about the things that hinder vulnerability, I've remembered a point that vulnerability requires a certain amount of emotional maturity to accept the fact that to accept whatever consequence comes from the vulnerability. So you have to be emotionally mature. So that if this person were to attack me, I will be able to handle it. And if this person supports me, also well and good. So that brings me to another point. Like, if you're not an emotionally mature person, there's no way you will be able to embrace vulnerability. Like, vulnerability takes a lot of emotional maturity. And I think we should even talk about emotional maturity, like, on another, like, as a topic on its own. And we'll probably do a video about that, but it takes a lot of emotional maturity to be able to be vulnerable with someone. And also another thing that will hinder vulnerability, I think it's fear and insecurity. Like, if I am not a secure person, I will not tell you my fears and my already I'm insecure about how people think about me, like,
I think now that point I'll phrase it as you holding on to you being perfect.
Yeah.
Like, when you beat yourself so hard, I have to be perfect. Things you can't be vulnerable.
Yeah, because now you have this perfection image that you have to uphold. So that also hinders vulnerability.
Because at times I feel like we are secure, yes, but it's not because we are secure that we share our emotions. Actually, if you're not, I kind of feel like me being vulnerable with you guys, it doesn't mean like I am really secure, but I'm working on being secure. That's why I'm fostering that relationship with you guys. So it's more on perfection. Like, are you beating yourself so hard? Like, I have to be perfect. I need to put on that makeup perfectly. I need to, so that people don't see my other side, like real face. Though this is how we look with or without makeup.
This is our real face.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, don't beat yourself so hard when it comes to you being perfect.
I also think another thing that hinders vulnerability is maybe trauma. Going through a traumatic experience. You know, there's something about trauma that makes you feel like you have to go through things alone. Like, you have to keep it to yourself. So trauma kind of makes you like, so it's so difficult for someone who's gone through a traumatic experience to be vulnerable, because at the end of the day, for you, that traumatic experience left you feeling so unsafe around people and in the world. So I can't even, I can't even be vulnerable. And because one of the requirements for vulnerability is for the person on the receiving end being a safe space, like me being comfortable. And that also brings me to another question.
Okay.
Who should we be vulnerable with?